Way We Were, where we revisit the past to understand how the ebb and flow of popular culture shapes the way we are. Only on The Podcaster.
Hi, this is Rima, and you're once again listening to The Way We Were. So, this is a podcast where I kind of try to understand the present and the questions it is asking, and perhaps figure out if those questions have already been answered by the past. Because I feel, that everything is interconnected, and whatever happens today has in some way some connection to the way we were and the way things were once upon a time. So, the question that I'm trying to kind of explore and respond to today is something that I've heard very, very often in the last few months on social media and elsewhere. And the question is Bollywood dead? And I've been thinking long and hard about this, and I'd like to respond to this question with another one. Should we also ask if India as we knew it is alive? What do I mean by that? Well, as a film-loving audience, are we all willing to sit in the same space together and laugh and cry for the same things the way we used to? Are our villains and heroes the same? Is our idea of good and evil composite, or has it been fragmented beyond repair? These questions have also been tormenting me, because I feel cinema is primarily about reflecting who we are and the times that we live in. And if films no longer bring us joy, let's also ask ourselves why India ranks 136th in the World Happiness Report this year. You see, there was a time when our cinema was joyful, and so were we. Have you ever wondered why there are so many YouTube channels devoted to TV serials and ads from the golden years of Doordarshan, And why so many of us still hunger for and rewatch Manmohan Desai's Laugh Riots, all those lovely vintage musicals, those cathartic action entertainers. Because as I read somewhere, we go back to certain films and songs because they help us remember a certain time of our life and who we were then. Films, I feel, at some point in the past, gave us a sense of vindication, and no matter how badly they were made, their moral compass always, swung in the favor of the underdog. Even a magnificent, period drama like Mughal-e-Azam, for instance, spoke for the primacy of love, over power, with lines like "Dil wale ka saath dena, daulat wale ka nahi." And status quo was always meant to be challenged. And even in the 50s, makers like B.R. Chopra, Bimal Roy, Guru Dutt, Raj Kapoor were presaging the issues that a newly independent nation would face if it didn't, weed out casteism, greed, and corruption and selfishness. And if you remember B.R. Chopra's Naya Daur, starring Dilip Kumar, it suggested that unless we respect the dignity of labor and of rural India, we would not be able to usher in a consolidated, balanced new era. And in Bimal Roy's Do Bigha Zameen, the story was about migrant workers and their tragedy. His Sujata was about caste prejudices, and Rishikesh Mukherjee's Anadi was about corporate greed. And Guru Dutt's Kagaz Ke Phool and Pyasa were about the death of creativity and imagination and integrity in a world obsessed with the optics of success. And Raj Kapoor's Awara and Shri 420 were about the criminalization of youth who are directionless, and also about the distance between the very rich and the very poor amongst us. And whether we liked or hated those movies, we never doubted as an audience, the love the makers had for their country, even if they critiqued it. We were unafraid of hakikat or the truth, and were even able to confront our own defeat during the Chinese aggression with a Chetan Anand war film that celebrated the humanity of the soldier rather than glorifying jingoism and hate. There really was a time, believe it or not, when truth-telling filmmakers were not called the names that they are called today. They were not called anti-national for warning us about the country's social and moral issues. And morality meant something more. It was a broader term and referred to our humanity rather than anything else. And there was the music that moved and stirred us, even in the bleakest of films. So many progressive writers were, penning the songs that we continue to sing till today. And our humanity and our identity as Indians, despite the memories of partition, those remained undivided. I still remember this beautiful Muslim social called Barsat Ki Raat, such fantastic musical score. It had a particular scene that I still remember, a scene where a Hindu Aaron Smith gives shelter to an eloping, Muslim couple. And in the climax, its poet hero, played by Bharat Bhushan, sings these beautiful lines. जिससे आगाह नहीं शेख व बरहमन दोनों, उस हकीकत का गरजता हुआ ऐलान है इश्क. And there was Mehboob Khan who made Mother India about the price one must be willing to pay for a higher moral ground, for ethics, And this theme is repeated in Diwar in the 70s and Shakti in the 80s. All through the 60s, 70s and the 80s and even till a decade or so back, we loved heroes who stand up, to cruel landlords and the oppressors of the weak and the black marketeers, industrialists who got union leaders killed and politicians who wanted power at any cost. And criminals, let me not forget, जिनकी पहुंच बहुत ऊपर तक थी. And when we heard the lines, पुलिस ने तुम्हें चारों तरफ से घेर लिया है in the climax of every second film, we felt such joy that evil had been vanquished yet again, The other day, I was watching Curse, Subhash Ghai's film, and that moment when Rishi Kapoor sings, उस गली में मेरा आना जाना था, that riveting 8-minute long climax song, I still got gooseflesh. Mazhar Khan singing, जान पे खेल जाऊं मैं वो जिगर रखता हूँ, in Shaan, and Feroz Khan saying, तारीफ उस खुदा की जिसने हमें बनाया in Qurbani, and destroying a Mercedes because its owner had hit an old man. And Amitabh Bachchan driving past the statues of Ambedkar and Chhatrapati Shivaji in the title song of Muqaddar Ka Sikandar. And the entire film industry gathering to watch Raj Kapoor play his accordion in that, show-stopping song from Naseeb, and Pran protecting the hero like a guardian angel in Zanjeer and saying, Sher Khan, Sher ka shikar nahi karta, And moments like this brought us such undiluted and undivided joy. Because dare I say, our identity then had no binaries. We laughed and we cried as one. Today we are told that the enemy is not out there, it is within, Today hate sells more than love. When was, for instance, the last time you saw a rebellious love story or an anti-establishment film? Or a film that humanizes the minorities rather than demonizing them? We are now told to not just hate one another, but also hate India as we remember it. So even films like Sholay and Diwar, which all of us loved, unanimously once upon a time, are now being taken apart to pass the litmus test of religious identity. So yes, things have changed. In fact, Kafi's song "Waqt ne kiya kya hasi sitam, tum rahe na tum, hum rahe na hum" would be or could be Hindi cinema's love letter to its audience. Because today, even before watching a film, polarized opinions about its actors and producers, they trigger hate and boycott trends. This is unprecedented. It never used to happen, at least to the extent that it does now. Because regardless of our faith, we were brought together by the almost religious fervor of cricket and cinema. And now even cricket has been vitiated, and cricketers are targeted for their religious identity if they dare to drop catches and lose matches. I think we no longer need heroes, but a new enemy every day. And in such a scenario, tell me, what can Hindi cinema make that will bring joy to all of us? Because let's face it, agenda-driven films can never bring joy to the audience. They may polarize us more, but only when cinema, music, and art in any form are inclusive. Can they bring people together? Can they be truly memorable? And this is why we still, sway to the guitar of R.D. Burman's songs and grow wistful when we hear Kishore Das sing "Hame Tumse Pyar Kitna," or when we watch Amar Akbar Anthony give their blood to Mother India in that crazy climax. And when we look back and wonder at all these films, these songs, I also wonder if this nostalgia is about what is lost around us, or is it about what we have lost within us? Our capacity for innocence, our passion for life, our sense of connection with each other. Because Hindi cinema, for all its flaws, and it had many, many flaws, it was an intimate, emotive experience and stamped with a certain, directorial conviction, for better or for worse. By that I mean that people made films with conviction, even bad films with conviction. That conviction is gone now. I don't know the impulses that inspire today's cinema. I don't understand them. And Hindi cinema to me was about Sham Ka Dhuan, about Gulabi Aankhein, and the never say die spirit of Aaj Phir Jeene Ki Tamanna Hai. It was about Sahir's idealism in Pyasa. It was about Dilip Kumar's slowly dying soul in Devdas, Nutan's silk and steel Bandini, and Madhubala's heartbroken Anarkali, and Meena Kumari's hunger for love as Choti Bahu in Sahab Bibi or Ghulam. And there are so many faces and songs and moments that have become a part of us forever. Hindi cinema was also Prem Rog's rebellious lover who challenges Dogli Mansikta or Dogli Naitikta of the society. It was also about Ramgarh, where a mosque and a Shiv Mandir coexisted. What is cinema about now? I wonder, And where is the India that was once happy and content with the simple abundance of 3 ice cream flavors and lace curtains on car windows and HMT watches and the morning music of All India Radio, and Salma Sultan's lone rose and her hint of a smile that we loved so much, on Doordarshan. The plastic covers that we had for our TVs, our refrigerators, and the mixie, and Nazia Hassan's hypnotic voice going boom boom on tape recorders. A friend I remember once told me how each time she went to see a film with her family, she would come back and narrate, even enact the story to her friends who hadn't seen it. and how every kid in her neighborhood died like Amitabh Bachchan in Sholay at least once. As for me, as a child, films were a part of, everything that I lived through in Patiala, my hometown. Terrorism, joy, grief, and happiness meant a scooter ride with a late night rerun of Dilip Kumar's Leader at Capital Cinema Hall, or being picked up from school early by my parents to watch Vidhata in full theatre. And trust me, no movie was too bad for us. From Chalam Rari Hero Panne to Do Havaldar, it starred Asrani and Jagdeep, if you believe it. We were game for anything, and we had fiery arguments about who was better in Shakti, Amitabh Bachchan or Dilip Kumar. And we argued about Lala Majnu, which my mom liked because Rishi Kapoor's sunburnt soul had moved her, and my father hated because he wasn't sentimental type. And Hindi cinema, I feel, was bigger than the sum of its loud, booming cliches, its songs and dances, and its fights and exaggerated grief and operatic romances, because they provided a refuge to those who needed a song or a phrase or a dialogue to live by. And of course, there was dross in this gold because there's so many problems with the way stories were told, and the films were not at all perfect, but there was so much to celebrate as well, because this is the cinema that gave us matchless riches of music by masters like Naushad and Jaydev and Madan Mohan and Roshan and the Burmans and now Rahman, among countless others. And it made poetry accessible to our untutored ears through the verses of Sahir and Kafi, Nida Fazli, so many others. And it gave us giants like K. Asif and masters like Bimal Roy and the joyful profundity of Rishikesh Mukherjee. Be it Guru Tat or P. Shantaram, Raj Kapoor, Benegal, Nehlani, all these all-time greats came from different genres, but Hindi cinema's biggest achievement, I feel, was its ability to make us feel something transcendent. It inspired joy and hope. And it's no coincidence that even the songs and dance sequences, which were laughed at once upon a time, are now inspiring filmmakers like Danny Boyle, Today, I'm thinking of the romantic revolutionary Urdu poet Majaz, who once lamented, "वो गुदाज़े दिले मरहूम कहाँ से लाऊं, अब मैं वो जज्बाए मासूम कहाँ से लाऊं? How do I rekindle the tenderness of my heart? Where do I find that innocence which is lost forever?" I think Hindi cinema has lost that innocence that it once had. Majaz was born in 1909, but it's still emblematic of every single one of us who has ever mourned the loss of something as intangible and fragile as a sense of youth and of hope. That's what we have lost. That's what our cinema has lost. And it's not as if the past was perfect. No, that's not what I'm saying. But there was hope that the future could be. The future is here. And like our cinema, I too feel lost. I really don't know what to make of it.
The Way We Were, where we revisit the past to understand how the ebb and flow of popular culture shapes the way we are. Only on The Podcaster.